So how did the Berlin Marathon go for me? Let's start from the beginning. I was approached by Adidas to run the Berlin Marathon. Now, for anyone that knows marathons, it's one of the quickest in the world. So therefore, I thought it was an appropriate time for me to try and get a personal best, which would be 3 hours and 30 minutes. That meant a lot of training.
But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more to be the man who walked 1,000 miles to fall down at your door.
Training was interesting because anyone that's tried to train in the summer with a lot of social events will know very difficult to balance athlete life and social life, and they're not very good at mixing. Everything that I did in terms of training was according to the plan that I was set by Runner, which is the training app that I use. It gives you a personalized, tailored training plan for any race, any distance.
I'm currently on an 11k easy run. Longest run of the block today, guys. 22 kilometers. I've just completed the longest run of my training block, 34 kilometers.
Loads of different variations of runs, so easy runs, long runs, tempo runs, intervals. Just, it covers the whole base of how to improve you as a runner. I think I managed 720 kilometers of running. Some of those sessions were some of the best experiences I've had. I went to run club, I did track sessions with my friends. I actually had 2 real running events prior to Berlin that were on the forefront of my mind, and that was the London 10K and something that was even further than a marathon, which was my first ever ultra. If I'd have said that at the start of 2025, that's just mind-boggling. Everything felt good about where my running was in place for the marathon.
And if the Runner app sounds of interest to you, they are offering 2 weeks completely free using the code REEV.
So there are 2 main keys in preparing for a marathon. There's adequate training, but there's also nutrition. So I got on board a nutritionist called Luke.
So I've got, I think, roughly like 47 days left until I run it. I just don't feel like my nutrition's as good as it can be.
Just the coolest guy. We had a great consultation about what it would take. It was calculated that I needed 700 grams of carbs. That is the equivalent of 18 bagels. It's a lot of bagels. I owe him big time for this one. He discovered that for Berlin in particular, you can actually drop off your own refreshments.
So the first bottle I'll be able to pick up is at 9 kilometers, which I think is pretty cool. You know, I've got my electrolytes and my water, which I definitely need considering how hot it's going to be. Isn't that right, dog?
Drink it. 6 bottles were prepared for 6 different aid stations that I could collect during the race and just get everything that I needed in terms of hydration. Preparation was done. All I had to do was head to Berlin to fuel, collect my bib and prepare for the race.
Touchdown Berlin. We're about to head to the Adidas store now and pick up a few bits ahead of Sunday. We're gonna go and see what the flagship store in Berlin has to offer.
Because I was so privileged, and I'm still so grateful to even just mention it, that Adidas invited me to run Berlin. They'd given me a whole weekend experience. So there was a pop-up event that we went to, some incredible panel talks from some of the greatest minds in running tech innovation, talking about how they've created the fastest shoe on the planet for endurance, the Prime Evo X, which was the shoe used in order to break the 6-hour world record mark for 100 kilometers, which is insane.
Morning, guys. It is day 2 of the weekend. 1 day to go until the Berlin Marathon. It's currently Saturday, the morning of. I'm going to run 26.2 miles tomorrow through the streets of Berlin. An opportunity that is just mind-blowing to me, especially given how average of a runner I perceive myself to be. It's just insane. I have total imposter syndrome right now. I am nervous for tomorrow, and I want to do everyone that watches this and everyone that has supported me and everyone that has contributed to me being able to even do this event. I want to do you guys proud, so here we go. Sub 3:30.
I put a lot of pressure on myself to get 3 hours 30, and with pressure comes nerve. The way you get rid of those nerves is to shake them out.
So we're off to head to the Runner shakeout run this morning. Nice and easy. Settle the legs in, get rid of some nerves, and then prepare for tomorrow. Good morning, Berlin! The day before, and we're at the finish line. That's where I need to conquer. If the temperature is like this tomorrow, I'm in big trouble. because I am dripping already and I've been running at 6 minutes per K. So I need to stay hydrated. Make sure I get me water in and me electrolytes.
I feel like the shakeout run definitely helped settle my nerves. What's annoying is we had such a great morning catching up with everyone prior to their races, seeing how the general running community was feeling about probably one of the biggest and best world majors. The rest of the day was a shambles. The traffic in Berlin was insane. I genuinely think myself and Luke spent 2.5 hours in an Uber.
I have had the holiday from hell. It is now 4:30 in the afternoon. I was originally gonna get my bib at like 7 a.m. Basically just the worst day of all time, but we're gonna go into the expo, grab our bib, and then I'm gonna have a lovely large carbohydrate-based meal and go to sleep early ahead of an amazing day tomorrow, fingers crossed.
The expo was awesome. Everyone in there is buying the merch, signing the wall, taking photos on the podium. It was such a cool vibe in there, to be honest, and it made me grateful to be part of such an event.
60092, that's the winning number right there, guys. 1 hour 59. No, I've got no chance, mate. This entire weekend is hanging in the balance because I have paid for my brother to come out and support me. There's been a cyber hack, which means his flight's been delayed by like 4 hours, and there's every chance that he might not make it, which makes me very sad. I've got to run it regardless, just a little bit less enthusiasm towards the race if he's not here, but anyway.
It kind of felt like a rushed process for me on the Saturday to get all the food that I wanted to get in, especially because after we got the bib, it was practically 5 p.m. So I had like a 3-4 hour eating window where I needed to get 600 grams of carbs in, you know, roll with the punches, I suppose. But at the end of the day, I certainly think that I was at an emotionally depleted state. And in all honesty, it made me feel less confident for the following day because the Saturday hadn't gone how I imagined it would. The morning of the Berlin Marathon. I actually woke up and immediately had food because that's what I was structured to do. I was told to do that, which is a really weird feeling. I don't usually eat in the morning. I'm kind of a traditional breakfast skipper.
Race day, yes. I didn't sleep too well. You got to make do with the hand that you dealt. I've got my water bottles to be put out on the stations this morning, so I can pick it up as soon as I go past the aid station. I've got everything on me. I've got my belt, my running belt with my gels. I've got extra gels that I'm going to give to Luke and Adam that I'll pick up later on during the race. I think I'm ready. I'd like to say that I'm ready.
Going to talk?
8 well.
8 well?
Yeah, this morning.
Oh, I just had a bowl of cookie crisp.
That's it.
And one of these.
See well?
Knackered,
Yeah, I'm
mate.
so tired.
Oh, fuck, I gotta run a marathon today. Oh, I'm so tired. Right, let's drop these off. Because the Texas rattlesnake does what he wants! Oh, God, I woke up.
Have you got to drop them off at their own spots?
Yeah. I've got to walk to the 34k, 9k, 15k.
That's miles away.
No.
Yeah, how hot it's going to get to?
How?
27.
God.
1 o'clock, yeah.
I've got so much Vaseline, I'm like...
I feel like the morning went as good as it possibly could have done. We actually got up really early in the morning because we had to drop the refreshments off that I prepared the night before.
The reality of before a marathon.
First poo was kind of just like backlogging or getting rid of the backlog of nervous residue.
Fella's talking about poo.
Leaving the train station to the start line, there's already thousands of people gathering and walking in the same direction, whether they're running or not running, whether they're supporting or partaking. With that comes a lot of nervous and anxious energy. So it was difficult to kind of compartmentalize taking the energy, like the crowd in, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be part of a marathon. This is going to be a cool experience, but also like trying to lock in for the race and on what I knew I had to do for the next 3.5 hours.
Just said off camera a second ago, I'm going to try and find a pacer and stick with them. I think I found them. It's like when you find a group of Pokemon. Already at 21 degrees and it's 8:20 in the morning. Before I start, I just want to say a massive thank you to the 3 Stripes in Adidas. This is the most incredible experience so far. It just goes to show how amazing this event already is. Thank you so much for bringing me here. We'll give it a go. We'll give it a go. I feel way better now. I've done my 1s and 2s. Now that what's left to do is drop my 1s and 2s on the tarmac.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like when shoals of fish move together or birds move together, you got the human equivalent. We're in the pen now, ladies and gentlemen. It's getting a bit serious. I haven't really done a proper warm up here. I've done a couple stretches. I suppose like the first couple Ks will be warming up into it. Might not even need a warm up given how warm it is. It's 22 degrees. Also, before this race starts, I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone that watches these videos, because without you guys, I wouldn't even be in this position. So just a huge moment of gratitude. I'm going to try my best for you guys. So let's see how this goes.
I made it a big point to try and find a 3:30 pacer group, and they would be my support crew on course to try and get me the time that I wanted. And I made friends with a guy called Tony from Germany.
I found my 3:30 pacer who we're going to stick with, and I found Johnny. My new best friend for the day. We're both going sub 3:30, guys. We're manifesting it. We're going to look after each other today. We make a couple more friends, we're going to do this, guys.
The group of people that were congregating with the 3:30 pacer was so international. There's like 5 different nations. We had an American, I'm pretty sure there's a lady from Switzerland, and then someone else from Asia. And that was the crew, man. That was the crew that was going to do the 3:30. It's just such a multinational, all-inclusive, amazing feeling at the start of a marathon. You're just trying to beat your own personal best, which is a really cool feeling. Everyone's willing to help others when it matters. They owe the person next to them absolutely nothing on the course, but because you're all trying to do something that's really difficult, there's a sense of community there. Yeah, so then obviously the race starts. First wave went off at 9:15, and then it still took 15 minutes after that for us to do the 150 meters or so, due to how populated it was, from wave D all the way to the front.
I'm up there. We are running the Berlin Marathon.
First 5K was awesome. There's so many supporters at the beginning. The roads are really wide.
Can feel the temperature creeping in already, but nice and easy. Break into it and then give it all we got at the end. First kilometre was 4:57 on the dot, I think. So the pacer is absolutely bang on the money. 41 to go, 3 down. Running at 4:55 average. Feeling pretty good. Heart racing in the 160s as expected. It's getting a bit chaotic there, weaving through people. A bit difficult.
6 to 10 was my favourite 5K split of the race because I was settled in, felt like I had everything under control. I had found the pace in my legs that we were going to be running at for the rest of the race. I was just focused on what I had to do. And then, of course, I saw my guy. What was it, 6, 7K? The support on the course where there were densely populated areas was awesome. And especially the bit that I saw you at was really good. I felt great at that point. Hopefully I gave you a little, yeah, we're good to go, like we're settled in. That was a point in the marathon where I had overwhelmingly positive thoughts of, I am going to do what I set out to achieve today, and this is gonna happen.
Over 6K in. It's not as warm as I thought it was gonna be. I've had a bit of cloud cover, so I got quite lucky. I'm desperate for a drink. Pretty tough already.
I think I crossed the 10K mark at like 49:40. So we had 20 seconds banked. Basically meant the pacer was doing an amazing job. At the start of the race, he said, we're running at a 4:58 the entire time. And I was like, all right, trust you. He was German, by the way.
Oh, is that what that accent was?
From a non-selfish perspective, I could tell that the heat was a problem for everybody. The medical staff were out on the course a lot earlier than I expected them to be. Unfortunately for me though, going into the 14th kilometre, the heat was the least of my worries.
14K in. I think I've pulled my hamstring. I'm really struggling. I'm actually in so much pain.
I ended up pulling my hamstring by trying to run around someone up and down the curb, overstrided, felt the back of my left leg go, and then quickly realised something was pretty wrong. The pacing group that I was in started to get away from me, so already felt like I was a bit stranded. And I genuinely was gonna drop out at that point.
I don't want to quit though. Oh man.
Oh, there you are. Man. How are we doing?
I think I've torn my hamstring.
I kind of felt that if I carried on running, I would do serious damage. But then you said,
So just keep going.
One foot in front of the other.
Time's off the cards now, boys. I didn't even film it, that's the most annoying bit. I kind of like just overstepped the curb. I'm going to carry on and...
The time. If you see this out, that's what matters. Go on.
And I quickly realised that this race wasn't really about me. It was no longer an ego thing where I was trying to achieve the goal and the time that I wanted, but I was trying to complete it for all the people that had put me in the position to complete it. So the likes of Adidas, the likes of the hundreds and thousands of you guys that sent me messages beforehand wishing me good luck. Adam that had flown out, my mum, my dad, you know, Meg, everyone that's put up with me through this training block to take sacrifices and say no to social events and say no to spending time with people because I've got to go for a 3-hour run on a Sunday morning. They're the ones that I wanted to finish the race for at that point. Like, it's no longer about the 3:30. I think I held on to that a lot longer than I should have done the rest of the race. I think the time was too important to me to let go.
My fucking leg is absolutely in bits. If I get to the end, that is just ridiculous. I'm not hobbling, 15k in. F***ing brilliant, mate.
15 to 21. If there's ever a 30+ minute period of my life that I'd like to remove, I think I'd like to get the little Men in Black stick and just be like, psh, gone from memory.
Day just keeps getting worse, guys. Someone's stolen my drink at 15k that I put out this morning. Oh man, what a stinker.
Kept toying with the idea of, what are we doing here? Like, really? You're not good enough, drop out. You don't have the determination or the grit to do it, and we know that, so let's just give it a rest and quit the race. Because honestly, they're all the thoughts that went through my head at the time. Every time I have these conversations with myself, it's always negative self-talk. It's always a case of, mate, it doesn't matter if you're a failure, but just drop out, man. Like, you're not good enough anyway. But yeah, 15 to 21 was shit.
It's just like 17k. I can't feel my left leg. I'm just fucking hobbling. 25k left is just insane. And it's so frustrating because I've trained so hard and I just missed the curve.
I was very miserable at that point. I was very angry, I was very frustrated, and the only way for me to take it out was kind of just like project it on everything else. I feel like that's what happened. Rather than absorbing the marathon and being in the moment and experiencing all these amazing things that people were doing for all the runners, even the runners that were vibing and hobbling and dragging themselves through it, got sucked into the ego of trying to complete it in 3 hours 30 and then being disappointed that I wasn't going to do that.
Genuinely in so much pain. I've taken two painkillers to hopefully get me through this. But I've got my bottle. Finally someone didn't nick one. A little moment to reflect, because I know I've not done what I wanted to come here and do. I've trained so hard. I've literally committed like 16 weeks of my life.
I still couldn't tell myself to not be disappointed. That's all. They were the only emotions I could feel for that part of the race. I was just angry, frustrated, disappointed, probably a bit arrogant to think that like this marathon's for me. Like, this is what I came here to do and I can't do it. Boo-hoo. It's annoying to look back on that because I know that I've wasted incredible experiences during that race just because I was in such a negative, perpetual mindset.
The sad reality of this race for me, having to walk every now and again. I haven't seen Adam at all, and I'm 23k in. I mean, the course is incredible support. I've seen Luke twice and Adam 0, so.
Yeah, 22 to 32 kilometers, just a rough experience, but I made it a rough experience. And I didn't realize that my tracker was broken at that point, which I later found out, and I couldn't empathize with them as to why they were finding difficulty in seeing me. And I was kind of just taking it out on the world a little bit. It's not a good headspace to be in. And it still felt like I had so much longer to run.
Currently 27 in. I'm just walking more than I'm running now. It'd be such a waste to not enjoy today. I mean, it's brutal, man. It's brutal out here. It's like 26 degrees. That's what we're looking like. 2 hours 48, 30k done. This is just hilarious. Whether I walk the next 12 or somehow I find it in myself to kick it in, but I was supposed to have gels dropped off as well by Adam about 15k in. As you can tell, I'm all out of gels.
Yeah, I debated going to the medical tent. It was more just a case of strap me up, give me what I need, I'll get to the finish line.
Grab your gel from the Morton stand. We're fucking back, baby. 35k down. Devon to go. Get me off this fucking road, please. Almost at the hotel that I'm staying at. Could bang a left and go for a nap, but I think we'll try and finish it instead. It's hard and it's a challenge, but it's about making the most of life. And that's what everyone here is doing, the unbreakable human spirit.
I knew at that point psychologically I only had a quarter of the race left. Once you're over the 32k mark, in normal circumstances it becomes really difficult. In injured circumstances, it feels like, oh, we're not actually that far away from the finish line here, just dig in and we can get to it. If you borrow the energy from the crowd and you allow them to give you the support that they're trying to give you, it pushes you further along the line a lot faster, which I think for me at that point salvaged a bit of the Berlin experience.
Got 5k left. That little spike in energy that I had is completely depleted. I know this is probably the worst run I've had this year, but I am genuinely so proud of the performance. I've wanted to quit about 25 times. What a horrid / brilliant day. That's what's great about the marathon distance. It's humbling, but you find a lot out about yourself.
3 kilometers to go, guys. I saw my brother, and my biggest regret of the entire race is not making that a positive, because all I did, shout at him for not having seen me earlier on.
Fuck me, man. What are you doing? Take us 39k to see you. What are you doing, napping?
See it out.
And because I didn't know there was issues with the track, and because I thought that he was just a bit nonchalant on trying to see me through the race, I kind of attributed that wrongly and blamed him for not being able to see me earlier, when in reality it should have been a case of, I'm so grateful that you're here trying to help me across the line. And I am sorry, Adam, for that particular 20 to 30 seconds, mate. But I wish that I could have the race back, and what I would have done is that I've gone over to hug you and be like, I fucking love you, bro. Thank you for being in Berlin with me and helping me complete what is a pretty mammoth physical task in a marathon. It gave me the boost that I needed, yeah. He's my little bro.
Fucking hell, man. 39k, this is no joke. I've just had a guy collapse on me. Literally just fell in front. Fucking hell, that was scary. This heat is no joke, man.
40k onwards, you could directly see the effects that spending a whole day running in the sun does to people. It was like Zombieland. Going through the Brandenburg Gate, I mean, that felt like the finish line to me, even though there was another 200 meters or so. But getting to that point is such a bittersweet feeling, because obviously, I've mentioned it so many times in this, I didn't get the time I wanted, but the amount of grit that I showed to myself to get across that finish line, it gives me an immense sense of pride and gratification. I felt like I was more shut off to the experience than I could have been, almost blocking out the crowds as opposed to soaking it in. I think once I'd given that release of ego, live in the moment, enjoy the experience of Berlin, it was such a better race after that. Stuff doesn't actually go your way, and when it doesn't go your way, it's about how you react to those events. Maybe that is a metaphor for life. Maybe it is about taking things in even if stuff doesn't go your way.
Oh man, that is the most painful run I have done in my entire life. I'm so grateful for the support, man. People out on the course were incredible. Adidas, thank you so much for having me. Berlin Marathon complete. Wow, very German medal that. Danke.
I'd been given a place by Adidas to experience one of the best marathons in the world. These moments are like to share with other people, I think. Like, as much as you're putting yourself through physical stress and, you know, mental effort, that's why a marathon's so cool. A marathon is never just about the individual running the race. Be another marathon, but there won't ever be another 2025 Berlin Marathon.